I was like, the first thing that I want to do as soon as I start working, because I always felt Uguti, I don't belong anywhere. I wanted to start my own family. That was the first thing I wanted. I want to start my own family, So, and then of course, in my final year, I proposed to my wife, and then I started working the following year. And then a year later, we got married. I got married 2010 on the 13th of February. I started working in 2009 in January.
Sure.
And then the first thing I did, was to fix my grandmother's home a little bit, just to make it look presentable, and then started working towards getting married. And so that's what I did. And then after...
do you feel like you are now more intentional with your life?
Very intentional. In fact, even when I was... it started with when I was preparing to do the N1. The odds I faced were immense. Even my mother wanted me to actually just get a job. Maybe that was going to be the easiest thing, I remember her asking, what's going to happen if you don't have bus fare? Because where I was doing the college, it was on the other township, So I said, you know what? I'm going to fix my bicycle. Even if I have to ride a bicycle to school and back, that's what I'm going to do, So now how I actually got into doing the N1, guys, there's a whole story there as well, in that involves my father. But so the guy, wanted to make amends, and then he wanted to find out what I was doing with my life. And luckily, he found me at that point where I actually wanted to do something with my life. And then he promised to take me to college. He was going to pay for everything, and I put all sorts of conditions. Money must or results must actually be mailed to him and stuff like that. We agreed on a day we're going to go to college for him to pay the deposit and register me. On that very same day, I went to his house. I waited for him. He was not there. I ended up having to go home. So I went home and I came back in the evening. As far as I know, this guy didn't drink, didn't smoke. But I think that guy, that day he was drunk. So, and then I said to him, we had an agreement that we're going to go to college. You're going to pay for my registration. What happened? And then he said, look, I had a lot to deal with, So he was not really making a conversation with me. So I was like, so what do I do? And then he said, born by mauti, which means see what you will do. If there was ever like an instrument to measure someone's anger, man, you can imagine where I come from. I just told you where I come from. And now I'm living a completely different life. And I hated this guy, And now I was, so happy that he's making amends, And, ready to forgive and forget. And then he pulls this one. This was very important to me, because I wanted to change my life. So I sat there having all sorts of thoughts in my head in his house, looking around for stuff to do.
To him?
So, and I saw a vase next to me.
Yeah.
I saw a vase next to me. I was like, you know what? If I can take this vase, break it in his head, never come back here, that will be justice. But okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm still angry though. So then I leave. He walks me out. So he had another son who was older than me, my older brother. Never saw him. I had stories about him. So this guy died. He became a thug, and apparently the community dealt with him. Mob justice.
Yeah.
So then I said to him, he had a business where he was actually delivering paraffin.
You're there.
But yeah, he was delivering paraffin to all the shops. And where I was staying with my grandmother, there was a shop in front of us, right across the street. So he used to go there and actually deliver paraffin. So I said to him, out of anger, of course, I said to him, look, doesn't matter what it takes, I'm going to do something with my life. And then I said, if I see you in NU9, you better make sure that your life is in order because I'm going to take it from you. So this guy went and got protection orders. If something happens to me, you must know that this guy threatened me. This is now me, right?
His son.
Yeah. So of course I didn't really mean that. I was just angry, So how I ended up actually getting into college, a friend of mine was doing an internship with Anglo Platinum here in Joburg. He's from PE. When I told him the story that I actually needed just 500 Rand for me to register, this guy gave me 1,000 Rand to start. So I registered. I had...
part of the friends that you were getting drunk with?
No.
Or...
someone I met in church.
Of course.
Yeah, someone I met in church. So this guy gave me 1,000 Rand, do whatever you need to do and, just be okay. So I paid, I went to college and I registered. I had 500 Rand for me to, for bus fare for like a week or so. That's how I got in. N2, I got a bursary. Yeah.
So how did you end up running a real estate agency?
So I was telling Wanele today, we're talking about that, right? And I was saying, what people don't understand as an entrepreneur is that as an entrepreneur, there is no one straight path with no failure. Everything is guaranteed. So when I left my job in 2010, I had an appointment letter.
Why did you leave your job?
So
how much were they paying? Was it 2.5?
No. Okay. So that was in-service training.
The 2.5?
Yeah, the in-service training.
Sure.
So my job, they were paying me very decent money. You're right. They were paying me, decent.
How much, Chief?
Hey, decent.
Oh, decent.
So my starting salary was 10,000 Rand, right?
Yeah, it was decent.
Yeah, for everyone that I was studying with, it was very decent compared to the rest of the guys, right? So anyway, that's what I got for my first year. So as I was working, one, I didn't enjoy the working environment, right? Number two, after my first year in that job, when it came to the appraisals, I had to wrestle with my boss, and so I didn't like the whole thing about negotiating salary increases. And I think it only went up by a very small percentage. So I started counting. So if I'm here 10 years and this thing kept on, growing, this way, I'm never going to be rich. And my plan, even before going to varsity, my plan was I'm going to work for only 5 years. I'm going to go and start a business. I mean, if I show you my 2005 diary, I said I'm going to go into real estate. I'm going to go into logistics. I'm going to go into construction. Whatever business that I thought had money, I said I was going to go into all these businesses, right?